Alright guys, so I thought it'd be kind of cool to do another fanfiction idea, and this is one that kind of came to me last night, and I told Jason about it. He's like, yeah, maybe we could do this as like a Into the Infinityverse story. Like, maybe that could be a thing in the future, depending on how everything goes. So, so this story is called, this is as you can see from the title, how does this even work? My Hero Academia and Gravity Falls crossover. Well, this is kind of a Gravity Falls AU, if anything else. All Might versus the Supreme. So, in this universe, in this version of Gravity Falls, Dipper, Mabel, Wendy, Seuss, Stan, and Ford are a group of American-based superheroes called the Supreme. And the Supreme are pretty much like the Authority or the Elite. You're probably guessing what story this is loosely based on already, so I don't need to pussyfoot around it. Yeah, this is basically Superman versus the Elite, or What's So Funny About Truth, Justice, and the American Way, the comic that movie's based on. So, the thing is that the Supreme are like the big heroes in America. They're like the pro-heroes in America. They don't refer to themselves as pro-heroes. They don't work directly for the government. They're kind of like freelance and have essentially dropped crime exponentially in the Northwest area of where they live. So, like, the vast majority of the Northwest area is, like, villain-free. Like, villains don't go there. There's a reason for that. So, in this story, the Supreme arrive in Japan. And people are, like, half and half on them because, on one hand, cool, more heroes. On the other hand, however, these guys are kind of violent. Yeah, these guys are known for killing villains. They're known for killing villains. And I'm not saying, like, oh, you know, Dipper and all them are all evil or anything. No, they actually believe they're good guys. They actually believe, like, they actually believe what they're doing is good. Like, they actually want to save people, but it's more like acceptable casualties for them. That's the thing. It's more like acceptable casualties. You know, ends justify the means. They're basically 90s heroes. They're like 90s Image comic or Wildstorm characters. Although Mabel is a little more like, she's open to the idea of like, hey, guys, maybe what we're doing is wrong. So you're probably wondering, well, why did they come from America to Japan? Well, initially they come to the school and they're like, hey, we're superheroes from America, and they're like, wait, not a lot of us can speak English, how are we speaking to you now? And Dipper goes, allow me to introduce myself. I'm the Mind Master. I know, dumb name, but I basically have telekinesis and telepathy. So I basically went into your minds right before we showed up and rewrote your brain a bit so you could speak English. You all know now how to speak English. There you go. So that's how they break the language barriers. Dipper just goes right into their minds and just goes, and everyone knows how to speak English now. So that was the idea. And Dipper goes, okay, so listen, hey, we really like this school. We really think it's really cool, and we just want to talk. We just want to hang out. We're all cool here. We're all heroes. Let's pal around. And All Might is already like, something's up. Something's going on here. And because they seem really interested in Midoriya. They seem really interested in Deku out of everyone else. They're really excited to hang out with Deku the most. So, so they're talking to Deku and they're like, hey, listen, so we're not really like pro-heroes like here in Japan. We don't get like funding. We don't get like all of that. We don't get, we don't get sponsors or whatever. We just do. We just go out and do the right thing. Isn't that like what it's supposed to be? We never saw eye to eye with the Japanese heroes. Not because like, fuck them, they're just dumb. It's more like we hate the idea of superheroes being a product. We hate the idea of superheroes being a product and how like the government regulates them. See, they get sponsors, we get results. That's how they see it. And Midoriya's like, yeah, I can see where you're going with that. And he's like, cool, yeah, just hang out with us for a day, And All Might is like, Deku, can I talk to you for a second? So All Might's like, look, they want you for a reason. I don't know what it is. I don't think they want one for all. I don't think they don't want your power. I think there's something up here, and we're going to figure it out. Now, they don't like All Might for a number of reasons. The biggest being is that they think he's a big blue Boy Scout. The Supreme really don't like him. And if you're wondering, like, why that is and why they kind of have, like, a distaste for superheroes, especially, like, you know, the pro heroes, it's because before Dipper and Mabel, their quirk activated, it actually activated earlier than most people, because there was a hero-villain fight in California that killed their parents, and their quirks activated in the amount of stress that was going on. Like, they were just overstressed, they were freaking out, and then boom, quirks activate. So let's actually talk about what quirks the Supreme have. So let's start off with Dipper and Mabel. Now, Dipper, obviously, said, like, telepathy and telekinesis. He's obviously the Manchester Black of this story. Though he's not like a dick like Manchester Black. He's actually like, look, killing gets a point across, you know? If you kill, it goes by the old saying of, you kill one, the rest will fall in line. And that's what we did. We murdered a major supervillain, and the other villains fucked right off. Mabel, her power is imagination. She can basically think of something and it becomes real. Like, she can make, like, items. It's not like she can just wish someone to the cornfield. Kudos if you got that reference. It's more like she can just create something, or like a creature or something, but she can only make it one at a time. Like, she can't just multiply, because that just puts a strain on her brain, and there's a good risk if she, like, overworks her mind making all these imaginary creatures or weapons, materializing them and making them solid objects. There's a good chance she could die of, like, an aneurysm. So she keeps it to, like, one or two at most. 3 max, like, that's the thing. So yeah, she can create any, like, out of her imagination is, like, solid constructs. Wendy's power is that, you know, hers is super strength, but the thing is, like, the more damage you give her, she absorbs kinetic energy and can, like, fuel it into her super strength. So whenever you punch her, she gets stronger. It's a lot like Yang from Ruby. Seuss's quirk is that he can become, like, a blob-like entity, kind of like Clayface, or, yeah, kind of a lot like Clayface, but more like the Blob from The Blob. So there's the Blob. You know, there's Seuss, who calls himself the Big Blob. Now, Stan's ability is a little hard to explain. Basically, Stan's quirk is that he can manipulate cities. He can if he's in a city, he can, like, alter it or bring it into control. He can, like, bend it to his will. It's very much based off of Jack Hawksmoor from The Authority, whose ability, he was called the King of Cities. He could basically, like, alter a city or a building into however he wanted. It's kind of like a power in, like, Inception, only it's in the real world and not, like, in a dream. And then finally is Ford, who goes by the hero name Mr. Polaris, who, obviously, it's a reference to Dr. Polaris, the Flash villain, and he can, like, create a magnetic field around him, and he can, like, alter it. He's basically, like, he can control, like, the magnetic field around people and control, like, metal and stuff. So there you go. So that is the Supreme right there. And also Waddles is part of the team. Waddles, some animals do have quirks, or were experimented on to have quirks, and Waddles when his quirk activated, he mutated into this huge organic ship that the team uses to transport in. So that's what they do. So when they're talking to Midoriya, they're like, hey man, you should join the Supreme, you know, the power of all for one, you know, one for all, you know, you're the future of heroes, you get it, like, you know, that kind of constraining, you know, mentality of, you know, heroes need to, you know, be these beacons of light and also buy our products. And Midoriya's like, no, I mean, I get it, but, like, no, you're killing people. You know, this is not okay. And All Might's like, agrees, like, yeah, it's not okay. And they're like, okay, back off, Blondie. We're talking to Broccoli Head right now. Go play. Go somewhere else. And All Might goes, no, he's not coming with you. He doesn't want to go with you. And, you know, you need to leave right now. And this is the point where Dipper's like, okay, I see where this is going. all right, buddy. So here's what's gonna happen. We're gonna convince someone here to come with us, and they're eyeing Bakugo too. Like they're eyeing Bakugo on this because they're like, yeah, if not him, like there's potential for Bakugo. But on the other hand, they're like, no, we really want Midoriya because we really want that new powerhouse on our team. But All Might says no, and they're like, you know what, we were going to get to you eventually because you are literally the epitome of everything that is wrong with heroes. You know, you want to save everybody, you want to see the good in everything, you want to be a fucking saint with superpowers. Fuck you, All Might. You know, where were you when my parents were dead in the rubble? You know, where were you when my quirk activated and I ended up killing people everywhere I went? You know, where were you when I couldn't sleep at night, when all I could hear was just voices in my head? You know, so fuck you, All Might. And then he's like, all right, asshat, here's what's gonna happen. You know, the 6-on-1, we'll take you on. You know, you're gonna see that our way is the best. So All Might goes 1-on-6 to, and they actually take him to the moon. They're like, yeah, Waddle's created like a little barrier for you, a little breathing area, so us mortals can be on par with you. Fair fight, right? So All Might, before the fight, like Deku admits, I think they could kill you. I honestly believe, you know, you're not up to, you know, I think maybe in your prime you could have taken them. But you're not the same All Might. They could kill you, you know. And there's so much I want to learn from you. And All Might's like, no, it'll be fine. It'll be fine, young Midoriya. Oh, God. And he's like, I'm really scared. Like, All Might really even admits to Midoriya, I'm scared. Like, there's a part of me that agrees. Like, but if I have to show them, I have to show everyone in the world my way, our way, is the right way. So All Might takes them on. All Might takes all 6 on, and he loses the fight. He gets his ass handed to him in the fight. But if you know how the story goes, All Might does, you know, pretend to go like rogue, and it scares everyone on the planet. Everyone on the planet is just terrified of seeing All Might cut loose. But then he's like, no. The pro heroes helped me out to pull off this ruse of, yeah, I went, you know, making everyone rogue, and like, yeah, they saw what true power, they saw what that raw power was, and it scared them. So, yeah, they saw the ugliness that you're trying to give out to the world. You know, you're just fighting darkness with more darkness. And that never works. That's just only going to bring more pain. So I'm going to keep fighting for a better world, and I hope you guys change too. He doesn't like try to throw them in, even though like the police arrive to come and arrest them. It's more like, no, you know, let him go. Maybe All Might lets him go. He's like, I think you want to do good. I honestly believe that you guys want to do good, but you can't. You can't this way. So maybe you can learn from this experience. Like maybe you can learn from all of this. So there you go. That is pretty much the idea. So yeah, it's just kind of Superman versus the Elite. I was just kind of thinking about it. I was like, yeah, that'd be a really cool like version of it. So yeah, I hope you all enjoyed this, and you guys tell me in the comments below, what did you guys think of All Might versus the Supreme? Did you guys like it, hate it? Just comment below, let me know. And once again, I'm Mr. Multiverse. I'll see you next time in the Multiverse.